Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to the Fangoria Movie Challenge. This is the segment I've been doing with my good buddy, Joe the Horror Man, where we're not only going to watch, but also review all 101 movies Fangoria thinks we should have seen. Today, we're going to be talking about 2000 Maniacs. 2000 Maniacs is a 1964 film, and as a matter of fact, it's the only 60s film we have on this list. It runs approximately 83 minutes and is written and directed by the late great Herschel Gordon Lewis. He passed away on September 26, 2016, at the age of 90. He was responsible for Blood Feast, Color Me Blood Red, and The Wizard of Gore. Now, this stars Connie Mason as Terry Adams. She was in Do You Want to Dance, Marry Me or Die, and Charlie's Ear, my fault. This also stars William Kerwin as Tom White. He passed away on October 27th, 1989 at the age of 62. He was in Absence of Malice, really good film, Blood Feast, and A Ton of TV. And Jeffrey Allen as Mayor Buckman. He passed away on May 10th, 1991 at the age of 81. He was in This Stuff Will Kill You, which is also a Herschel Gordon Lewis movie. Moonshine Mountain, also. And Something Weird. All three of those are Herschel Gordon Lewis films. Now, the budget for this movie was $65,000, and it was filmed in 14 days, and happens to be the director's favorite film that he's done. Now, this came out in the 60s. I'm assuming most people have seen it. If you haven't, I'll run through a short synopsis real quick. It is basically a town called Pleasantville who is having their bicentennial, or their centennial, which, of course, is 100 years after the end of the Civil War. So what this town is doing every 100 years is they kind of trick people into going to the town so they can partake in the festivities. Unfortunately, the festivities mostly lead to their death. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. This movie is a ton of fun. It's a horror comedy. It's filled with the typical gore you expect from Herschel Gordon Lewis. And I don't know, it's one of my favorites. It's not my favorite Herschel Gordon Lewis film. That would be probably Blood Feast or Color Me Blood Red, but this is a really fun one, and I can see why this would be his favorite. It seems like it's a little bit more refined than some of his other work. Blood Feast was his first, I think, quote unquote splatter film, and to me, it's just so much fun. I guess a lot of people like it because it's been remade 3 times now, 2 or 3 times. But yeah. The acting is pretty much what you'd expect from a Herschel Gordon Lewis film. The gore, like I said, is pretty much what you expect. And it just has a more wide open feel to it. They actually use a town, I found this out from Joe. They use a part where the town is on, I think, Walt Disney, where they built Walt Disney Land in Florida, if I remember correctly. Now, William Kerwin was said to have been a pretty big alcoholic, and I think he died of cirrhosis of the liver, if I'm not mistaken. But he died pretty young, and that's a shame because I always thought he was a good actor. But he was said to be mostly professional on the set. The original song, "The South Shall Rise Again," is, of course, I think it was composed and sang by Herschel Gordon Lewis. I thought that was interesting. And of course, this film is not PC. You'll see a ton of rebel flags. It was just a time period, and of course, they're talking about the Civil War, so, it's kind of pertinent. So, yeah, definitely not PC, but then again, it's from the 60s, so I think we were kind of learning who we were at that point. even though it was before my time, but that's what it seemed like. Now I'm going to pair this with the remake, 2001 Maniacs. This movie is a ton of fun. It's, of course, filmed better because we have better technology, but it pretty much holds true to the story. It has Robert Englund, of course, as Mayor Buckman, and it's filled with gratuitous nudity and tons of gore and just lighthearted fun for a horror splatter film. This is a fun one. I actually don't mind Field of Screams, which is the sequel to this, to the remake, but it's not as good as the original. You could tell they had a lot of passion and a lot of love for the source material when they remade 2001 Maniacs. So, yeah. Now, don't forget to check out what Joe picked for his recommendation and also check out his review. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.